Hello everyone, it's your Branny and welcome to Pain Choice Friday. And and this is where I click and choose and buy. And today we are playing the Stanley Parable. Which, as you've seen on screen right now, has been requested. For the first time I ever started Fan Choice Friday. I'm gonna because I'm let Peter think Peter said good. That's cool. Their suggestion in the comments below. So I can play games next week, and let's begin the game. The end is near the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Pew.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Why?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
That's me. That's me. I have such a hard time being quiet. Why? It's so expensive. Why can never? Like I just want to die. Like why does this guy have you? Like why did this guy press up all the buttons by the time? Okay. What is this? What is this? Oh, son of a. Oops. Oh. It's about here. Oh, it's just.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, I don't think I did. Just. I hate this. that didn't there. That didn't.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Is that Sam farted? I like number 4 and number 33. It's kind of gross. That's kind of gross and low. Look at everybody's desk. This place is rented. What is this? What is it? I like pork, I just hate my boss. Okay, we get you big points with the boss. Okay. Let's find them anyway. Okay. Oh, just username access. Oh, and just computer roll too. Oh, no, we got an upgrade here. I hate my knees. Okay! Where is it? Where is it? Is this The Walking Dead? Am I the only one here? Am I the only one left? And they're all...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I don't want to? Oh, you get to choose, actually. Do I listen? Okay, it's the first choice to get. I'll listen. Alright. Hey, who did that? I didn't. Somebody do. Somebody closer. So there is somebody. Is this the bosses? Okay. Oh, you can't really see outside. It's like a nuclear explosion.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Everyone else, you must spot. Number of slides on this side. Slides, car. Slide, charts. Charts and slides. These. What is hot profits? Target pop market. Someone here. Nothing like things. More money, things. We can't just say food pie, food. Oh, all right. Okay. We need review. Work harder, hard worker. Space between the keys. Just go on over the heaven. Read at which chart. I know. Okay, so is there anything in here? Who's on my desk? Whoa! Whoa, that is, right. Right, we'll just keep going. Nobody here. Ooh! Oh, hey, ooh! Oh! Okay, didn't mean it.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty
Are you
broom
trying to
closet.
distract me here?
No reason to still be here.
Try to tell me something.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
But
He
I
wasn't
like
even
it
doing
here.
anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be
Enjoy myself
justified
a
in
minute.
some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Look,
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm just enjoying myself, okay?
You do realize there's no choice
What
or
a
anything in
jerk
here,
this
right?
real.
If
What
I'd
a
said
jerk this
Stanley
guy is.
walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Okay, just put it up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I told you I was enjoying my meditation. 59. For the total. New York. It. Whoa, now this. What's this? Okay. But I definitely.
But Stanley just
Okay, whose
couldn't
car
do
is
it.
this?
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley
I'm
felt to have
dreaming.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I don't think I am.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Did I die? It is never the. Wait, I think I died. No. Actually, yes. I died. Okay, don't go downstairs. I got it.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Got it. I'll do this. That was like the longest time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on
We
his
made
left.
the wrong choice. I did, in fact. Hey.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, son. Right. Whoa. Oh, this is my boss's office? Super nice. Wow. Dude, this guy.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Right. The what? The what? Whoa. Oh, wow. Okay. Uh. Okay. What's this all about here? We gotta look up. Okay. Get some instruction. Let's see. Don't want to die again. Actually, I don't want to go this way. Oh, wait. It's really dark here. Okay. This is just gonna take me a while. I feel like I'm gonna die again.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Wait. Oh, who's that? Oh, just don't. It's clearly not how I seal it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope. Nope. Not going there. Oh. There's nowhere else to go? But yeah, yeah.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ah!
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Right. At least it warned me this time. Nobody's here, so nobody can control my mind. Oh!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
Okay.
television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Over at Stanley? Well. Hey.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Well, there's nobody in it now, so... Ninja room?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I think so. I think that's the case. I was wondering why he would be happy.
No. He refused to believe it. He
What do you mean,
couldn't
no?
accept it. His own life in
Oh.
someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even
Right.
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life
No.
utterly blind to the world?
Could
But
be.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mind controls awaiting input. Let's just throw this thing.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, He knew it was his
Hard,
duty, his
consistent task.
obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What? Wait a minute. Is this guy trying to trick me? I don't know what to do. You know what? You know what? I wanted to make Stanley happy. Do we listen to the narrator? No, because you want to go on night tracks. So I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. It's like happy, but no. You need the reality. Yeah.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Where am I?
Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Oh. Woohoo! Yeah!
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Freedom.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yes. Yeah, big game. Oh. I have to do is listen. But I know that and things will change. And there's a thing. Turn into a good person, fall asleep, and things like that. Lots of different choices and lots of things you could do for the game. Also, but that's a good one, guys. And makes me, and Stanley was happy. That makes me happy. And I hope it makes you happy and as well, guys. And I hope you enjoy the game of the Stanley Parable. Band Choice Friday. And if you did, please enjoy the video. And just put a like and subscribe. This is your first time watching one of my videos, and become a new alert today. And subscribe to my channel.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I'll
What could
see
it
you
mean?
guys.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And I hope you thanks for watching me. And of course, you